Welcome back. This is your host, Noura Almasri, and this is Echoes of Impact with Noura. We're back with my friend Catherine talking about like empowering women to start their own business, to delegating to others so they can be the CEO of their business. Welcome back, Catherine.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Sure. So we're talking about like how significant it is like to get people into your business and how to mitigate the risks of hiring people.
hmm
So what's the most challenge you find the women have like I want to shift kind of like to how you encourage them to start their own business. Like
hmm
what's the main challenge? Like why wouldn't what's the fear? Why wouldn't they want to start their own business usually from your experience?
Oh, there's a lot of different things, and I have to say that most of them are psychological. They don't necessarily make sense. And we talked a little bit about fear. There are a lot of things that are based in fear because they've never done it before. They're not sure if it's going to work. They start from scratch. But I think if you really think it out well, it could totally work in that. So, for example, when we started our business, we had some clients already started. I was a freelancer. And essentially, those were my first clients. And we went right to them and said, hey, it's not going to be me being the freelancer anymore, but I can hire someone for you that's just as awesome as me. And we're going to do this a little different. We would explain the markups and guaranteed that the people would be fantastic. So if you have some people that you already know are going to willing to work with you, that makes that switch super, super easy, rather than just saying making a leap and then you have zero clients. So come up with a strategy of how you're going to get that first client. And you might feel like that you have one foot on the dock and one in a boat, and then the two are slowly splitting. So I know some people who have had a job and then they slowly started building their own book of business. Um, there are many, many ways of doing it, but I would really encourage people just to say, you know what, if the timing feels right, if you have a great support system, just give it a shot because, the worst that can happen, the worst that can happen, it's a complete failure. But then you know what, go get another job. You tried it, go get another job. And then try it again. And I know some people that had a couple of false starts and there just wasn't something right. It wasn't truly based in their passion. It wasn't, the timing wasn't right in the economy or things like that. So just kind of really think some of those things through. But if you really have a passion for it, you really think you can do it. I mean, just try it. We just took a leap of faith and it worked out. And,
Mhm.
20 years later, it was fine.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's a better time to start your own business? You can start just from your home, do
Yes.
everything from your home. If you have a laptop, some people do even start from their phone, even if they don't have a laptop for some profession that can work. So you
Yeah,
don't have
there's
to
no
have
better time because now everybody's comfortable with Zoom and with,
Mhm.
working from home. Yeah, there's really no heavy investment in a lot of cases, especially if you're doing a service business.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can't agree more. Like had a fear. I wanted to always start a business, tax and accounting firm,
Mhm.
long time ago, like since 2010 maybe. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a office and all of these things. I always put this off. But in 2021, like once I was able to start virtually, and here I am, I still have a company. I'm growing consistently.
Yes.
So you have the passion, like you said, like you have the passion of the business that you started, you always can work on it and make it happen. And worst case scenario, like you said, go find another job. That's fine.
Exactly. And sometimes too, you might get into something and you realize you didn't have the target 100% right, but it's really more over here, So be prepared for it to be a little bit fluid to find out who your target market is and who it is that you're wanting to have as that ideal customer.
Absolutely. And it always helps if you work with someone like a coach, even if you think that they know the same exact thing that you know, but having
Mhm.
one from outside telling you, seeing the picture from outside, it does really help. I always work with coaches. I always have a coaching program I am in just to make sure I am aligned. So this really helps. People think sometimes I don't want to waste money, but actually it's you're investing money, you're not wasting money. Anything with your business is investment.
Absolutely. And you can, like I said, join organizations, and there's also people there that you can grab as mentors, have
Mhm.
lunch with, buy them lunch and just ask them some questions. I've had great partnerships with women that were a lot further down the road than I am. And I could come to them in a panic Like I would see, well, I'll never forget the story where I ran into this woman at an event and I was like, okay, great to see you, but I'm gonna be drinking heavily this evening because we were told that we're getting audited and by workman's comp. And she said, have you never been audited by workman's comp? And I'm like, no. She's like, oh my God, everybody does. It's no big deal. They come in and they look at your stuff and they leave. I am in a full cold sweat about this whole thing. And I ran into her luckily and she said, don't worry about it. I was fine after that. And that's exactly what happened. So it's great to have people on your team that can kind of help you, like when I mean, like your in your circle of people that can really help you with some of these things to say, what does this exactly mean? Should I be upset by this? And like, no, no, that'll happen. Like somebody just quit. Oh my God. People quit all the time, Catherine. It's no big deal. You know? And here's what you're gonna do. But yeah, it's great to be have the coach or have a mentor or just be around other people that have kind of walked a little longer down this road, and it takes a lot of that panic, sheer panic away.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to shift to your book. You're working on a book right now. Can you
I
tell me
am.
about it?
I am. I started it started out as a podcast idea, and my podcast is a secret art of business, and that's based on how I believe that the left and the right brain have to work together to have business success. I would totally encourage people to listen in. It's a lot of fun. It's not a heavy lift at all. Um, but when I started writing that book, someone had said to me, "Oh, you know what, Catherine, that's great, but what I really want to know is how did you do it? How did you win the awards? How did you start a business? How did you get in the boardroom? How did you get into all the rooms?" And I said, you know what, that would be an easy book to write. So that's what I'm working on right now. And that book is called, it's kind of a rough title of um, Winning the Rules of the Game for Women in Business. And what I'm doing is I'm talking about how in business, basically everything is in sports speak, and the book is in sports speak, and women are going to learn all the rules that I learned along the way in order to make things happen. And it's not necessarily as frightening as people might think. It's just literally knowing how the game is played. And I'm working on that now. It's about halfway through. I'm hoping to get it out next year. I would encourage people to follow me on LinkedIn or Instagram because that's where all the information is going to be about the book. But it so far has gotten a lot of interest from people. So I'm really kind of excited in sharing, again, everything that I kind of learned along the way. And hopefully that will save some people some few extra steps.
That's awesome. So is this book dedicated for women or can men also benefit from?
That's an excellent question. It is really geared towards women, but I got to tell you, it could be men too. I
Mm,
mean, there are some things that I'm sure that they might not know that it's like if I just do this one thing, that's going to make a big difference in being remembered, about being, asked to be on somebody else's team, for example. I like using the sports analogy because in many cases, if people are looking for board members, they're going to want good players. So what makes you a good player? And those are the sort of things that we talk about. It's like how do you get noticed? How do you get remembered? What can you do to make an impression? Um, how do you basically get competitive in a space where maybe nobody else does what you do? So it's been really kind of fun to write. The only thing is I'm going to be so critical of myself in writing it. So I might have to get a partner just to read through it and make sure it's all good to go. But yeah, I'm hoping to get it out at least in the next couple of months. But that's going to depend on the publisher too.
awesome. So it's going to happen now in 2025.
It is, yes.
Yes.
I'm saying it aloud so it happens. It's early enough in
Yeah.
the year. How could it not be done this year?
Yeah, right? Awesome. That's awesome. That I can't wait to read it. And how do you say it's different from other business book?
Well, like I said, I'm kind of treating it from the sports perspective. I've read a lot of books that have been geared towards women, and they have a little more of a holistic approach. They have that more of that motherly approach, like you talked before. They talk about life balance. They talk about all these soft skill sort of stuff, which that's what makes us women, and 100% love it. But I cannot think of a time where that has actually been handy when
Yeah.
it comes to getting ahead. So it's a different perspective. Not everybody's going to like it, but this is what I did. This is, hopefully some things that other people could at least try. But yeah, the perspective is just a little bit different in that it's not really squishy. It's this is how you this is like oh what did it this is like you just had I don't want to use the word bold. This is about just kind of just really getting your hands dirty, and you're gonna be pushed and fall down. And you might have to fight for the ball, sort of thing. But when you're good, when you know what's gonna happen, it's not frightening at all. So
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for being that courageous to publish the book. Can't wait to read it. And I'll help to that you come back to Echoes of Impact so we can talk more about your book once.
I would love it.
Yes. 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 And I want to make sure, guys, you want to follow Catherine so you are aware when she has that book. Thank you so much, Catherine. I hope you have a great day and can't wait to have you back on the show. All right, guys, this is Echoes of Impact with Noura. And here we came to the end of this episode. I'll see you again next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Central. Share this episode, listen to it again, listen to the wisdom of my guests, and come back again every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Central. Until next time, keep making an impact.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.